Welcome back to the SYFY WIRE live stage here at New York City Comic-Con. How's everybody doing? A lot of energy out there. It's good. We're getting near the end. We still got a ways to go. There's a lot of great stuff still coming up on the live stage. We're going to take a little break here and talk about something that's near and dear to all our hearts when it comes to cons, which is merch.
Yes. Collecting.
Yeah, you know, one of the best things about coming to these places is all the exclusives, all the great collectibles and everything. It's, for me especially, I love going around and diving into some of the weirder, more esoteric stuff from my childhood. You guys had a good merch con so far?
I would say so.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Did anyone else buy any stuff here? I figured a few people did.
I would imagine, yeah. They don't give out those giant bags for nothing.
Exactly,
you know.
exactly.
But yeah, so we're just going to take a minute and talk about some merch that we found here, some toys and collectibles and things that meant something to us, I think, and our experience at this con. And I don't know who wants to go first. I'm happy to start if you guys want to jump in. Or...
Yeah,
I'll do it. All right, I'm going to do it.
What you get, Adam?
So, a couple of things. First is this Robotech Varitek. It's Ben Dixon's VF-1A. And I have a lot to talk about with Robotech because that was a very important thing for me as a kid, as a child of the 80s. Many of the cartoons that we watched, your G.I. Joes, your Transformer G1 stuff, they were essentially toy commercials. And a lot of times, except for later in Transformers era when things got weird, but like a lot of times everything was status quo. You know, nobody, there was action, but nobody was ever really in peril. Nobody was ever, like, until the film Optimus Prime wasn't going to die. Spoilers for 1985, sorry.
Yeah.
But when Robotech came along, that was my first exposure to kind of serial storytelling in animated form and stakes. And it's poignant that it's actually Ben Dixon's Varitek because he is a character who dies, you know, in battle very late in season 1 of Robotech. And for me as a kid at that time, that was a really profound thing to be like, wait a minute, you know, these characters can actually die and change and, you know, fall in love and all this different stuff that kind of I had not been exposed to at that time. So Robotech for me has always been a huge, huge moment in my development as a sci-fi fan. And so it was really cool. I love any time I'm out on the floor and I can find something Robotech. I also got a great Series 7 t-shirt. Series 7 is right over there. That has a Varitek on it. So yeah, any Robotech stuff, I'm all about it. And I'm really psyched to be able to bring this one home. The other thing I have is a Beta Ray Bill, which if anyone, I don't know, anyone who follows me on social media, I don't know if any of you are out there, but I am obsessed with Beta Ray Bill. He's one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time. I'm really into the early 80s weird Marvel. You know, like the other thing was when Into the Spider-Verse came out, I totally geeked out over Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham, because I just love it. That was an era in Marvel where they were like, you know what? Well, we're going to make a pig Spider-Man, and we're going to have this crazy horse-faced alien, but he's going to be in Thor's outfit. And, like, it was in the story they built, that Walt Simonson built around the character when he created him. You know, they kind of went weird first and then created the story to justify it, and it was just so cool. And it's so out there. It's just, you know, he's got a winged helmet for some reason. You know, just because he wields the power of Thor, now he looks like Thor. And so I've always loved Beta Ray Bill, and that's another thing. One of my great finds here last year, I think, or no, it might have been in San Diego this year, was just picking up a cheap copy of the first appearance of Beta Ray Bill in comics, which I cannot remember off the top of my head what number of Thor that was. But so that's really cool, and I was really psyched to find both of these out there on the floor. And that's my story.
I like it.
Yeah.
Andre, I'm going to let you go next. I feel like mine's extra nerdy.
All right, I'm going to stick with this 80s trend because
there you go.
I was going to go with a Ninja Turtles thing. That's not usually my thing, but I got to talk to the cast of Ninja Turtles on stage. That was cool. I was going to go with a Power Rangers thing, but I got to talk to Jason David Frank on stage. So I was like, I'll collect it in life form. But one of my favorite 80s movies is Gremlins. I love Gremlins, and I love when I can find Gremlins merchandise. It is hard to find. So luckily, the good people at Funko they made this one. This is a classic one. This is a classic Stripe. You know, everyone knows Stripe, right? You know, so that's an old school one. But this one just came out for this con. It's a 2-pack of Gizmo and a Gremlin. Ooh. And it's Gizmo wearing the 3D glasses. If you remember, he was in Billy's bed holding the 3D glasses, looking at a 3D comic. And then the Gremlin, he's got his popcorns because he's clearly watching Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So he's got his glasses on and eating popcorn. And I just think that's lovely. And they even have little pictures on the back of them. It's so cute and not cute at the same time. Yeah. So, yes, I am a fan of Gremlins. Katie is not a fan of Gremlins.
Yes, I am.
Well, you're a fan of Gremlins, but you just get scared when I put them in my house.
Well, if they're this tall, yeah.
Okay, has anyone ever seen that giant Greta, the female Gremlin, like the big puppet? You know what I'm talking about? Like it was like about that size.
It's tall. It's like a life size.
So every time Katie would come over to visit, I would just put her in random places and scare her.
Just to scare me.
It's like the Elf on the Shelf, but the dark version.
Yeah, he like single-handedly made me dislike Gremlins, but I love the movies.
Yes, you love the movies.
Yeah.
Just in my house.
It's not a life size.
Where do you guys fall out on Gremlins 2?
Oh, Gremlins 2 is great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Fred, we want
Way
is I think what everyone wants.
Movie.
Civilization. You got the brain Gremlin, the background. Also, that Key and Peele sketch about Gremlins 2 is also hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah. But yes, I love Gremlins 2. I love it, which had Daniel Clamp, which was, you know, a parody of a person that you might know. But yeah, it was a fun movie. I love that movie. And then I also got this little Nintendo keychain or Famicom style little keychain for my keys.
My thumbs are hurting already.
I know this this feels about as small as the Switch controller when you hold it sideways, but it works out great. It works out great. So there you go. That's my geeky stuff.
I like it.
All right.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Your turn.
All right, so
we've been promised true nerdery here, so I'm ready for this.
Yeah, I mean, from the 80s, we're going to jump to the 90s a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to move a little ahead a decade or two.
I am a really big medieval fantasy fan, and there's really one TV show that inspired me growing up and made me into a huge medieval fantasy fan. So, one, this fandom is extremely hard to find things at conventions, but when I do, it is almost like Christmas morning for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I must have that. So, hold on, I gotta make sure it's the right way. Okay.
This is great. Yes!
Xena Warrior Princess. And this is a mouse pad. How cool is that? So, yeah, Xena Warrior Princess basically was my whole life. And this is, not only is it a Xena mouse pad, but is from the series finale of Xena, which I thought was so cool.
Wow.
Because she's got such an awesome outfit. Also, like, oh, that episode.
Yes.
But, yeah, so that's like my huge fandom. And anytime I come to a convention, I am looking for Xena merchandise. And
or Xena cosplayers.
Or Xena cosplayers.
I gotta say, it has to be a testament to that show that no one's trying to reboot it right now, right? Like, it's not. I'm surprised by that a little bit.
Don't say it. It's gonna.
I know, but
now the reboot gods just woke up. It's like, what?
No,
Xena,
but I almost think you can't do it without that era of Lucy Lawless. I mean, if she was so perfect in that part, how do you top that, really?
I won't go all crazy fangirl on you right now, but they tried to reboot it, and it just, you know, creative differences made it not happen. And you cannot have a Xena Warrior Princess reboot without Lucy and Renee. You just cannot. Absolutely cannot.
So yeah.
Yeah. So so from that, you know, sparked my love of medieval fantasy, and then also I found this Jaime Lannister. Awesome. I love it. I love it. So we got like this figure of Jaime Lannister, and he has his hand. I'm gonna make sure it's all pretty. I love me some Jaime Lannister.
Wait a minute. That is pre-dismemberment.
Exactly.
Yeah, Jaime Lannister.
Yeah, you gotta.
So he looks much happier than he does in later seasons.
So I thought that one was fun because he had his hand, and it's not a gold hand.
Yeah. We recently had some Jaime Lannister news from the Game of Thrones world, in that Nikolai Coster, I can't remember. Yeah,
Nikolai Coster,
you know, that guy was talking about the season, and people were like, "Oh, so you're still around at that point?" And it's so funny with that show. It's like any little thing people say, it's like, well, wait a minute, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, are you gonna have that as your companion as you watch the final season of Game of Thrones?
Absolutely. I mean, I was totally fangirling when Sophie Turner came by our stage like 2 days ago. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah. You should start like a Twitter account for like mini Jaime Lannister and live tweet the Game of Thrones final season as him.
I might just do that.
Yeah, that's social media gold right there.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I mean, I feel like I still want to take another lap around the floor at some point because there's still so much that I have not seen, and my wallet is screaming in protest right now. But yeah,
Has any of that been rebooted yet? Has Beta Ray Bill has not been in a Marvel movie yet?
They've been working on a Robotech movie forever, and every con they have the Robotech panel, and they talk about the merch, and you're like, great. And then they're like, and the movie's still being worked on. And you're like, tell me more.
So we have an entire table then of not rebooted.
That's right. Beta Ray Bill was in Ragnarok, I think, as a sculpture. There was a sculpture. It might not have been him, but it was someone of his alien race, I think, in the Grandmaster's Palace. So that's the closest we've gotten. I'm still holding out hope for a Beta Ray Bill appearance.
Where that went.
This is the safe zone then. This is the safe zone of unrebootable, not rebooted yet items.
Absolutely.
Thank God for now.
Yes,
for now.
I know.
I'm wondering which one will be first. Like, who's going to get it first?
I mean, the Robotech thing has supposedly been in the works for a while, so we'll see. I think that's the one that's at least farthest along.
I'm sure they're trying to make a CG Gremlin at some point.
Yeah. I mean,
That might be interesting.
You can't beat Puppet Gizmo. There's just no beating that.
You can't. But Xena is safe.
Absolutely.
For now. Xena should just be off limits.
Well, those are our Nerdifacts, I should say. We'd love to hear about yours. You can follow along on social media, hashtag NYCC, hashtag It's a Fan Thing. Stick around for more action here on the live stage. We got a lot more great interviews coming up. Up next is the Simpsons' Mike Reiss.
Yeah.
Little show that's been around for a few years, and he's going to be talking about Springfield Confidential, so stick around for that.
I'm Jackie Jennings with SYFY WIRE. If you can't get enough of New York Comic Con, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel for news, interviews, cosplay, and so much more. What are you waiting for?